Hello, welcome to the session on History of Education Development in Kerala. Education in Kerala during medieval period, from 16th century to the formation of Kerala state. During the 12th century, traditional education in Kerala was individualistic. It was imparted in teachers' home or in small academies. The main means for education during medieval period were Shalai, Eluthupalli, Mutts, Kalari, Gurukulam, Maktaba, Madrasa, etc. The intention of such a system was to create the altogether well-being of the student, including physical fitness. When it goes past the Sangam age, 1500 AD, Kerala had a golden era in terms of education where all got the chance to get educated without any difference of caste, sex, etc. The important positive aspects of the system can be summarized as: teaching was not salary oriented. The teacher or guru used to get the reward form of products cultivated during harvest seasons. The aim of education was not to attain a job or for any other material achievement. The aim of education was to enhance the moral and ethical moorings of an individual. Anyone who wished to have higher education could do it from well-known institutions like Nalanda and Takshila. After the Sangam age, it is a fact that discrimination in terms of caste or Chaturvarnam and gender became the hurdles for accessibility of education. The people belonging to the lower levels of society and female members of all levels were deprived of the rights of education. Shalais. Shalais were the institutions in which training was given in all branches such as Vedic, Grammatic, Philosophic. The famous Shalais in Kerala were Kantalur, Parthivashekarapuram, Tiruvalla and Murikulam. Out of this, Kantalur was known as Nalanda of the South. By 13th century, in place of Shalais, a new form of educational institution came into practice. They are Mutts, where Brahmin youths were instructed about Vedas, Upanishads, Mimamsa, etc. in Sanskrit. The famous Mutts in Kerala are in Trichur and Tirunavai. 4 Mutts are available in Trichur, namely Vadakke Mutt, Naduvil Mutt, Edail Mutt and Tekke Mutt. Adi Shankara himself was the founder of all these mutts. Eluthupallis. Eluthupallis were the places where non-Brahmin students got trained. Each village or kara had its own Eluthupalli and the teacher was known as Ashan. This system was in practice till the British started ruling. Kalari. Kalari was an indigenous educational institution which belongs to Kerala only. It was actually a gymnasium where instructions in physical training and warfare is given along with the learning of reading and writing. The related techniques of bone setting and vital spot body massaging were also taught to selected students. Every village used to have this institution. This also started declining during the period of the British. Nevertheless, a number of kalaris are still existing in Kerala where main training is in physical defense. Gurukulam. Gurukulam system was imparted by individual scholars who had distinction in branches like medicine, astrology, etc. The Shishya or disciple and Guru used to stay together, and the way of teaching includes healthy samvadas or discussions between them. The punishments were ordered by the Guru used to be very severe, and the Shishyas were bound to do any domestic work of Gurukulam. Learning was effected, taking the experiences of day-to-day life as examples. This was much different from teaching or pedagogic discourse. Maktaba. Maktabas imparted primary level education for Muslim children, and the teachers here were referred to as Maulavis. The subjects taught were religious. Madrasas. Madrasas offered secondary level education, and such institutions were situated in towns and villages. Besides, Muslim religious subjects, logic, grammar, medicine, etc. were taught here. All of these earlier forms of education faced a decline after the British ruling started in Kerala. Education in Kerala before independence. The educational condition in India as a whole was said to be in a low ebb at the beginning of 19th century. Sir Charles Wood, who was the Secretary of Kerala State during 1854, sent instructions to British East India Company suggesting that education in English and other languages should be encouraged and improved in India. This education dispatch implied a coordinated system of education and clearly stated that it should never be neglected. This move was marked as a giant leap in the history of education in India. The provisions in Education Dispatch of 1854 was not strictly followed, as the studies regarding the development of education in British India and Kerala shows. The government put least interest in elementary education, and importance was given only to secondary and higher education. The process of giving any grant in aid for education was not in practice. During the same time, the Christian missionaries were trying to educate the mass by establishing education institutions, especially in South Kerala. They were distressed over the attitude of government and formed a council in England, the General Council of Education in India. In 1882, Lord Ripon, who was the Viceroy of India, appointed William Hunter as chairman of his first Indian Education Commission. The commission submitted the report in 1883. Notable part of the report was that it freed the government from the responsibility of mass education and suggested a gradual transfer of higher educational institutions to efficient private bodies. The primary education remained the responsibility of local authorities. The report also suggested encouragement of indigenous educational institutions, which were declining by that time. During colonial period, Kerala was made up of two princely states, Travancore and Cochin, and Malabar, which remained under direct administration of British. Malabar was a part of Madras province of British India. Educational development in Travancore. The princes who ruled the state time to time put their all efforts to develop educational status of their subjects. The disorganized Sales, Eduthupallis, etc. were brought to a well-established and well-devised scheme of primary, secondary and collegiate education. There was perhaps no other state in India which spent a major part of its revenue for education. Rulers like Rani Gauri Lakshmi Bai, 1810-1815, Gauri Parvati Bai, 1815-1829, Swadi Tirunal, 1829-1847, Uttram Tirunal Marthandavarma 1847-1860, Ayilyam Tirunal Ramavarma 1860-1880, Chithira Tirunal Balaramavarma 1931-1949 were some among the remarkable princes who had a generous and positive attitude towards educational development. Also, credits must go to Christian missionaries who did a pioneer work in providing Western education in Kerala. As an effect of all these factors, when compared with any other states of India, people of Travancore remained better educated. Educational development in Cochin. Even though princely rule persisted in Cochin state also due to political uncertainties, educational history is not as bright as that of Travancore here. Ancient systems like Chales, Muds, Eluthupallis only continued for a long period. The education of common man received attention of government only during 1890s, when vernacular schools were opened in all villages. They were brought under control of one board. Private agencies, mainly Christian missionaries, also stressed their arms of cooperation. This led to a golden era in development of education. Educational development in Malabar. In Malabar also, for a long while, only indigenous system of education was available. Development of education was a very slow process, and literacy among Muslims and backward communities was recorded as very low. The credit for laying foundations of Western education goes to Basel Evangelical Mission, which started working rigorously for the upliftment of socially and economically backward classes by the middle of 19th century. Many educational institutions were founded, and thus the educational disparities existed between Malabar and other two regions started narrowing. The Madras government gave much importance to primary level education. In Victoria College, Palghat, founded by Basel Mission, high school was attached to the college as a feeding school where carpentry, blacksmithing and commercial subjects are taught. Thus, vocational aspect of education also was promoted by the missionaries. Education in Kerala after independence. In 1956, the Kerala state was formed, and all the three units, Travancore, Cochin and Malabar, were merged. Even though the nation became free in 1947, significant changes in all phases of social life started after the formation of Kerala state. In 1957, the communist government brought the Education Bill, which stressed the point of free and compulsory education for all children in the state. The much controversial Education Bill presented by the then Education Minister, Professor Joseph Mundasheri, put 4 steps for universalizing education. The government decided to print textbooks in the government-run press itself and distribute them through school cooperatives in a reasonable price. This made education affordable to many socially and economically backward sections. With a view of removing university from the direct control of government and to reorganize it as an independent autonomous institution, Kerala University Bill was introduced in 1957 itself. Subsequent government put efforts to establish one university center in Malabar region, and on 23rd January 1968, Calicut University was established. The bill, which the then government amended in 1972, was a crucial one, since it brought unification in fee, government involvement in appointment of teachers in private institutions, reservation for admission for those who belong to SC, ST, OBC, Primary education has been made free and compulsory in the state now by the government. About 96% of schools in Kerala are funded by the state. Government funds are distributed among two types of schools. The first is schools established and run by government, which comes to 36% only. The second is aided schools, where they are owned and managed by private agencies. This forms majority portion. The Christian missionaries who laid foundations for educating the marginalized group of society, such as SC, ST, and female children, became the role models for communal organizations who started education institutions. The Sri Narayana Dharma Paripalana Sangam, SNDP, the Nayar Service Society, NSS, are the important among such organizations. Many schools in primary and secondary level were opened by such organizations. Thus, the main obstacle in universalizing basic education was surmounted. The two main sources of large-scale data on school attendance was National Family Health Survey NFHS 1992-93 and National Sample Survey 1993-94 revealed that 95% of children in the age group 5 to 15 go to school regularly in Kerala. There is no difference in the case of girls, as the case is in many other states in India. Even in tribal areas, the children, including girls, are attending schools without fail. Kerala State Literacy Mission, which took a commendable part in achieving the full literacy status to the state, is still in an energetic path. Besides, Kerala Mahila Samakhya Samiti, initiated during 1987-89 to translate the goals of national policy on education and empowerment of women in rural areas, contributes much towards the development of women education. In 1996, the government established school complexes, one high school with a set of primary and secondary schools in a region in many places. This was successful in all the areas implemented, with the help of cooperation and enthusiasm shown by the public surrounding. The officials in education department were convinced that community effort can work wonders. Another notable milestone in the educational history of Kerala was the implementation of DPEP, District Primary Education Program, during 1996-97. It was commissioned in India with the financial help of World Bank. The program consisted of massive changes in textbooks and attempted major changes in pedagogy. The teaching was child-oriented and comprehensive training programs for teachers were designed. The curriculum was revised along with evaluation methods in order to improve the teaching skills required to handle multi-level learning environment. The Kinginikootam program was introduced in 1998. It brought together the selection of differently performing students from class 1 to 4 and teachers. It dealt with the problems of slow children and had concerns over special problems of disadvantaged children of scheduled tribe. The SSA Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan program implemented by the central government as per the 86th amendment is another latest commendable move for the uplift of primary and secondary level education. It is an effort to universalize elementary education by community ownership. The basic intention of this program is to ensure quality basic education all over the country and growth of children with a social commitment in life. The main features of the program are free and compulsory education to all children between age group 6 to 14. Starting education institutions wherever not available and improvement of existing schools in all aspects. Commencement of alternate schools and back to school for dropouts. Bridging all gender and social disparities in gaining elementary education, to educate all children in minority communities, to ensure that all children are enrolled in schools. Prime consideration for education of girl children. The government of Kerala wholeheartedly materialized the SSA program in the state. The RTE Act, Right to Education, also shows the importance given by the authorities to the development of basic education system. Higher education in Kerala. According to the general presumption exists, importance was given to the primary and secondary level education. Concerns from national and international levels about education for all also led to the neglect of higher education. The degree of higher education levels in India has always been less in Kerala than in national average. As expected from a state where literacy is total, primary education is universal and secondary education in a good level, higher education field is not so developed. Taking into account the interdependence of one layer of education on the other, higher education becomes critically important for developing and sustaining a good quality primary and secondary education. Moreover, higher education plays an essential role in the economic development of state or country. It is the higher education that may be the single most important factor that makes difference between the developed countries and developing countries. In addition, higher education is meant for public benevolence and put much positive impact on the society by promoting economic growth. The enrollment ratio in higher education in Kerala stands in a very low level. It is observed by various education commissions that only 10% of those who enter primary education enroll in first degree courses, both general and professional. While enumerating the second degree level, that is post graduation, it is still worse. The expenditure involved in attaining higher education has proved to be a main factor which forbids many to access it. The grant aid given by the government to colleges remains very low. Naturally, the revenue for the running and maintenance of institutions has to relate with the fee collected from the students. This subsequently results in the hegemony of self-financing institutions in the field of higher education. The students from economically forward families only are getting benefited by this. At this juncture, the fact that a number of students are choosing neighboring states for higher professional education also should be noted. The reasons usually told are lack of suitable institutions, desired courses, standard of education, and or the fear about the political indifference and violence. The colleges in Kerala are registered under 4 affiliating universities. They are Kerala University, consisting of colleges at Thiruvananthapuram, Kollam, and Alappuzha. Calicut University. It is the institution with largest territorial coverage, consisting of colleges at Thrissur, Palakkad, Malappuram, Kozhikode, and Wayanad. Kannur University, consisting of colleges at Kannur and Kasaragod. MG University, colleges at Pathanamthitta, Kottayam, Idukki, and Ernakulam. Besides these, Sri Shankaracharya University of Sanskrit, Cochin University of Science and Technology, CUSAT, and Kerala Agricultural University are functioning here for specialized courses in specified areas. Recently, on 2012 November 1st, Malayalam University also has started functioning, fulfilling the dreams of many. It is seen that the number of colleges in public funded sectors, government or aided, has virtually stagnated. Also, a significant decline is observed in pure science branches since mid-1990s. Bright and talented children prefer engineering, medical or other like professional courses. When social science subjects are totally ignored, commerce, business administration, computer science, etc. are largely preferred. Even state-run IHRD, CAS institutions are providing only 2 bachelor courses in electronics and in computer science. Anyhow, the enrollments vary according to the employment potential the qualification eventually produces. Moving side by side with the Christian institutions who created important milestones in the history of Kerala education, other religious organizations also established many schools and colleges. SNDP and NSS of Hindu religion and MES, Muslim Educational Society of Muslims, are the major among them. With a view of restructuring higher education on informational basis, Kerala State Higher Education Council was formed in March 2007. In this council, importance is given for following aspects: finding out the potentiality and aptitude of the student, appointment of right teachers with authoritative knowledge in concerned subjects, preparation of an updated syllabus, creation of skilled and employable human resource. Let me summarize the session. In this unit, we had a glimpse on the history of Kerala starting from the 16th century to till date. Various plans are still awaited for the reformations of education at different levels. The progress level of primary and secondary education in the state is enviable. Higher level education needs more attention, and the union government also takes a favorable attitude. The central government has sanctioned one IIT to Kerala, and we can hope that to be established shortly. Vibrant, developed personalities who have commitments to the society is a real asset. The very aim of education is not anything lesser than this. With such personalities, multifaceted development of the state can be ensured. Now, you can try to answer the questions given here. 1. Which were the commendable positive aspects of education during Sangam period? 2. Compare the educational developments before independence in princely states and in Malabar. 3. What was the significance of Wood's education dispatch in the history of Kerala education? 4. How did the basic level education become universal in Kerala? 5. Make a short note on the educational reformation programs in Kerala after 1980. Hope that you can refer the books listed here for further reading. Church, Missionary Society and Education in Kerala by Epen K.V. Kottayam, Collett Publications, 1985. Limits to Kerala Model Development, George K.K., Thiruvananthapuram, Center for Development Studies, 1992. 3. Education and Pupils Planning Campaign, The Kerala Experience by Ganesh K.N. and Ramakrishnan C. Paper presented at the International Conference on Democratic Decentralization, State Planning Board, Thiruvananthapuram, 2000 May. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.